How's it going, guys? This is Blake here from theadventures.com and the Sanctuary. Back again with more Shadows Before Dawn. Um, it seems like every single time I do a new chapter, I'm just more and more behind with the schedule that I wanted to stay on. At this point, I'm just doing my best. Last week, in general, wasn't really a good week, so I did not really get much of an opportunity to do chapter 6 like I wanted to because this is actually a really short chapter. Yeah, the chapter is pretty short before we break into part 2 of the book. And looking ahead, following chapter 6, looks like we get into the toolkit sort of techniques of the whole premise of the book, which is pretty cool. So after this chapter, I think we'll really be getting into the meat and potatoes because that's what it's telling me right now. So that's pretty cool. So today we're going to read chapter 6. Very short chapter, so this will be shorter than usual. As you can see, I'm doing this in a different area downstairs this time. It is really hot. It went from being, oh my god, it went from being like 50, 60 degrees for the highs to like high to mid to high 80s now, and it's just scorching hot in my room. So, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be recording up there today. Anyway, let's get on with chapter 6. So, chapter 6 is entitled Living a Life of Self Love. So, chapter 6, first segment, Celebrate the Little Things. When you become well known, people imagine you jetting around the world, making millions of dollars, and having others cater to your every whim. It becomes difficult for them to see you as a person just like them. Oh, my dog wants to join in. It becomes difficult for them to see you as a person just like them. I laugh sometimes when I think about how people would react if they could observe my life the way it really is. I get my son ready for school just like every other person. I take a shower and shave my legs. I trip going down the stairs, and I find joy in tiny little things, like the way that soap bubbles reflect an assembly of colors, or the way that uncooked rice feels against my hands. When I was young, my closest neighbor in the summers was more than 16 miles away. I was isolated and did not relate to anything except my horses. Now, the path of self-love has built me a community of people. We are friends who have become a family. Sleeping in my little room, I can feel their presence filling up the house, which is so lived in it's worn. Huh. Which is so lived in it is worn. Okay. I paint my frequency paintings on the easel in my son's room. I sit cross-legged on my bed, recording my latest insights on my laptop computer. It's not the extraordinary aspects of my life that cause me the most pleasure. It's the fact that dawn has come to my life. Years ago, when my life was shrouded in shadow, I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel. Nothing held joy for me. In fact, the things that other people enjoyed, like sunsets, parties, or vacations, used to cause me pain. It was like I lived my life behind a prison of glass. I could see out, but they could not see in. I couldn't touch joy like they could. Now, listening to big band jazz while I'm stuffing green peppers in the while I'm stuffing green peppers in the kitchen with cross breeze floating through the room, and the homey scent of rhubarb pie in the oven, and hearing the distant sounds of laughter and play from my family, who is sitting on the back porch, I'm thinking, this is joy. I finally know what it feels like. Even so, my life is not perfect. It would be a lie to say that everything is wonderful now. I still struggle with the aftermath of the trauma that happened. I still struggle with people who think I'm a fraud and that I made up my story of what happened to me to make money. I even received threats in the mail from individuals who hate me and hate what I'm doing. Fame is like living under a magnifying glass, as it amplifies all aspects of life. It amplifies the good things, and it also amplifies the bad. Needless to say, joy is not something that I feel all the time. The sun has not come up completely in my own life, yet. But now that dawn has come, I can feel its rays against my cheek from time to time, and I can taste the promise that my future holds. I cannot say that I would do it all over again if I were given the chance, but I can say that the light that has come with this new dawn has revealed the beauty of the shadow to me. I can see now that there were immense gifts contained in the darkness I endured. I took seeing the light to see the beauty inherent in the darkness. New section, A Path of Ease. You'll recall from my personal story that I had to claw my way through life, oftentimes on hands and knees, to this place of freedom, joy, and love that I stand in today. Upon reflection, it has become clear that I didn't get here because of effort or because I clawed my way here. I got here by virtue of learning to allow. The road from self-hate to self-love is meant to be a road of ease. The road from self-hate to self-love is meant to be a road of ease, but only if we are brave enough to let it be easy. This was a very hard lesson for me because most of the time, as I struggled toward self-love, I would prevent myself from actually moving forward. Like you, like most of us, I accepted that my life was an intense struggle because we are so used to things being an effort and a struggle that we have difficulty trusting the feeling of ease. Once you begin practicing some techniques in the toolkit, that's the following part or following chapter, I hope you accept and understand as I do that the painful parts of our lives don't come up to torment us and ruin our lives. They appear so that we can learn to embrace ourselves with compassion and be healed. When we struggle against part of ourselves, we cannot heal. Your love will always be conditional as long as you are excluding any part of yourself. Your love will always be conditional as long as you are excluding any part of yourself from your love, including your pain. As long as you are excluding, your love will always be conditional. Oh, your love will always be conditional as long as you're excluding any part of yourself from your love, including your pain. Okay, that makes more sense. Pain cannot be healed by hating yourself. It can only ever be healed by loving yourself. Self-hate is like quicksand. When you struggle, it just causes you to sink deeper and deeper until you cannot breathe. But if you stop struggling, you can set yourself free. Self-love, then, is not a destination we need to struggle to get to, but rather a state of being that is available to us in each new moment. We simply need to let it in. Allow it. You will reach the essence of who you are, and that is love. Your inner essence can't be harmed or lost. The most you can ever do is prevent it from flowing through you, but even that you can turn around with self-love. Each moment you take one step forward is a brand new moment, and you are a brand new you. Be gentle with yourself. You are a precious piece of this world. This world could not be complete without you. You are not priceless. You are priceless not because of what you do. You are priceless because you exist. You don't know it yet, but with time you will come to know that you are, in fact, the love of your life. New section. Recognizing one's own most amazing shift. What a feeling to know that my bent and broken life finally reads more like a success story. For the first time, like looking at a completed puzzle, I can see the full picture of my life. I know the reasons why I experienced what I did as a child. I feel my purpose, and I finally know what I'm really here to do. A few years ago, at 26 years old, I experienced the most amazing thing. For the first time in my life, I turned to someone and said, I love my life. So what did I do that caused this miraculous shift to occur, moving from wanting to commit suicide, which is the ultimate act of self-hate, to the point of loving myself? The answer is quite simple. I had incrementally taught myself how to love myself. What I've discovered is that no matter what kind of childhood someone had, unless they were raised by wolves, they always struggled with self-love, as suffering often does. It opened the door within me to an enlightened experience. I walked through the door, and now it is my belief that my extrasensory abilities, coupled with the depth of self-hate that I experienced as a result of my childhood, have enabled me to guide anyone from the starting point of self-hate to the experience of self-love. And that is how I created the lessons and techniques that form the rest of this book, my toolkit to self-love. And I believe that is the end of chapter 6. So yeah, very short chapter. Well, for a second I thought the camera stopped recording. I was like, what? There is no way it took me that long to read. So yeah, very interesting. So now you guys have a pretty much complete backstory picture on the author's life and sort of how she got from her abusive situation when she was younger to where she is now, for the most part, as an adult and as a spiritual practitioner and teacher and whatnot. And yeah, so all the toolkit and sort of stuff begins in the next part 2. And I guess this is where we stop with the chapters and sort of it's broken down into techniques. It's broken down into techniques and tools rather than chapters. So yeah, I'm looking forward. It's like tool 3, tool 1, stuff like that. So yeah, let me check. I'm just going to skim and see how long, because the next one is more of an introduction to the toolkit. And yeah, this one's a little bit lengthy, but I think it's kind of normal length. So it's a new week, so I'm going to once again try and get out 3 parts this week. I want to say things should be less crazier this week, so I should be able to actually get out three parts this week. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers. I've said that for like the past 2 weeks, and I haven't even been able to get out 2, which is crazy. Very bad. You could see how inconsistent I am with a lot of things. So yeah, hopefully we can get in the first two, or the introduction and the first toolkit this week, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. If you guys enjoyed, let me know. Drop a like. Sub to the channel if you haven't done so yet, so you can keep up to date with whenever a new part or new chapter is uploaded. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.